Welcome to another fabulous installment in my Zill Heroes interview series, where I interview people that I think are doing incredible things with the finger cymbals and bring their stories to you. This interview is with the incredible Drake Von Trapp, who is a multi-award winning interdisciplinary dancer and scholar based in Central Texas. I was really excited to sit down and speak with Drake because even though I've known him for many years and we've kind of been in the circuit together, we're both from Texas, we've been at similar events together for many, many years, I've never actually had the chance to sit down and pick his brain about some serious Zill geekery, which is exactly what we did in this interview. Inside, you'll learn more about how his particular dance journey brought him to the Zill style that he is known for today. And he also has some incredible tips for anyone who is looking to get really good on their finger cymbals. So join me as I interview one of my Zill heroes, the amazing Drake Von Trapp. My name is Sahira, and I'm here to teach you the beautiful art of belly dance.
Well, I'm really glad that our paths connected. I feel like we see each other around on the circuit here and there, and I always love watching your performances with finger cymbals, and I'm excited to get to geek out with you and just talk about your approach and your kind of theory. I feel like this idea of, I love that you call it like the multi-tonal method. I've always called it like the a cappella method because I feel it's just like, here, let's make this the sole instrument to our dance. And I think you do it really well. Thank you for joining me to chat.
Yeah.
So I would love to start just by, I mean, in case people don't know you, and I think that's probably not mostly the case, but like just in case, give us a brief hello and like, you know, what your little elevator pitch bio is.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Drake. So I've been dancing. I've been belly dancing for, this is my 17th year.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! Congratulations.
I started when I was 16. So belly dance is what got me through the last bit of teenagerdom.
And that's a tough few years right there. Those last bits of teenagerdom.
Oh yeah, getting into bridging into adulthood, finding your voice. I think belly dance and dance in general just really helped me do that. But elevator pitch version is I started when I was 16 in an American cabaret studio, the ISIS studio in North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to ISIS.
Yeah, shout out. She's still going strong. That woman never stops. She's amazing.
A machine.
She's incredible. I don't know how she does it. She always looks the same. Like I feel I've been aware of her for 25 years now, and she's identical. She never changes.
The black leotard, the half up, half down hair, bright
she's
red
amazing.
hair. She's got a brand.
For sure. Absolutely.
And once I kind of graduated through the studio, I pursued some fusion. I think I started formally training with ATS. That was like my next thing after AMCAB was I went to an ATS troupe, and then I kind of incorporated my own thing. I was doing some cross training. Then I went to school for dance. I got my bachelor's and my master's in dance, and have been pretty much married to this sort of combination of American cabaret and old school fusion together. That's been my discovery of like, this is the correct combination of things that work for me specifically.
Nice.
And now I'm doing my PhD in performance studies, where I'm kind of compiling all this history of fusion, and hopefully that'll kind of connect everything from where we started to where we are now.
I love that. It's like, I love your scholarly approach, right? Like, it's not just that you've studied dance in sort of the way many of us study dance, but you've like taken it to the university level, getting your PhD, like spending time hitting the books and writing the papers to like understand the dance from so many different angles, right? Which I think is really important. Not everyone can do that, but I love that you are a resource that people can come to learn more about that kind of thing. So I don't know, I think I might have known that you had an ATS background, which I think is super interesting because one thing, I love ATS and I've studied it, never really formally, and I've always loved that they utilize finger cymbals, but definitely not known for the most creative finger cymbal work in the belly dance universe. And so like, when did you kind of break out of that, or was that never like the box that your finger cymbals fit into?
Yeah, so actually coming from the studio I came from, it was a very holistic approach to dance.
Cool.
And so it went through all the props. Candle balancing, sword, zills, veil, fan veil, cane, the side, like, you had to do everything.
Okay.
So I did start zills pretty much immediately, within my first like level 1, or in the studio, from the ISIS studio, the levels are called advanced. So there's no beginner. It's advanced 1, advanced 2, advanced 3.
That you
4.
start in advanced 1?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
that's a nice mind
psychologically.
trick. Yeah, it's very psychological. I'll be like, I'm an advanced 1. I like that.
I'm not a novice. I'm an advanced 1.
Interesting. There might be something with that. I like that. Okay.
So we did start there. Now I know that one of ISIS's primary teachers early on was Bert Balladine.
Oh, okay.
And so whatever his finger cymbal method was, which he trained, I believe, mostly finger cymbals in Germany. And I don't know much about his teacher in Germany. And Bert's German, so hence the European connection. So I don't know entirely what the philosophy comes from there, but my lineage in finger cymbals started with Bert and his teachings onto Isis, and then hers onto me before I got into the Fat Chance ATS style.
Yes, this is cool. I'm making like a mental note to learn more about that when I think of finger cymbal influences like Germany, and Bert Balladine was never been one that I realized was there. And I feel like when I talk to students now who are European, there's a lot of missing finger cymbals over there. They're like, oh, there's not a lot of people in Europe who are teaching it. So I feel like whatever was there maybe is no longer there, or maybe is hidden away and we have to rediscover it.
That's absolutely, when I did a miniature European tour last summer, and when I was in Germany, I specifically, I knew going into Europe that zills were not a big thing, and so the only performances I brought were finger cymbal performances.
Nice.
So when I had like my 2 solos in the festival gala or whatever, just like finger cymbals throwing at your face, you're gonna learn to like it.
Yeah.
And because they do have a lot of ATS there, and so they have your standard like chicka ching, chicka ching, chicka ching, chicka ching, but I don't think there's a lot beyond that. Now, I will say in England, Rachel Redfern is really into cymbals.
Nice.
And she's taken a lot of stuff with me, multi-tonal style, so I'm infecting her with that.
Excellent.
We've performed that together a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm hoping it like catches on, and then when I get to Europe, when I finish school, the seed will have been planted.
Yes, and people will be wanting it. I think there is a desire for it in some ways. It's just like you don't know what you don't know, right? No one's teaching it, so people don't really think of it. And when I, connect, luckily with the internet, right, we get to connect with so many people now. People will say, I'd love to learn more, but there's just nowhere I can go locally to get that education. And so while you did ATS and you did lots of Gallup, you were also learning this other style or this the Zill format through ISIS that was larger than that. Yeah. Okay. And so then when did it become this more sort of multi-tonal, like let's create compositions with the finger cymbals?
You know what I think, I don't know if you probably remember that the first time I was exposed to it was in that workshop with you and Lauren Cecchio at the Las Vegas.
Migrations, was it? Or
was it Migrations?
It might have been Migrations when she was doing the drumming, and I think you were there. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Migrations.
I was like, it was one of them. It was one of those festivals. It's been a while, but I remember she had introduced it to us in the workshop, and you were trying to like implement it, and we were like trying to do the combos and do the hand choreography.
Yes,
that was so hard.
It blew my mind. That woman always blows my mind.
And I was just like, what is this? And I was trying to fake that I could do it. I was definitely not doing it on the correct hand at the correct time, but as I was trying to chew through that, I was like, okay, this is making this interesting to me. Like, this isn't just I'm not super into props in general, and I know this is going to have a lot of people sound off like,
it's not a prop.
Like, I get it, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to, prior to being like really dedicated to cymbals, not being a person who dances with anything. Like, I just use my body parts.
Yes.
And I've just never been interested in doing something else until it becomes interesting to me in like this new crazy hard way. Like, it has to be like double the intensity, double the fun for it to catch my brain.
Okay, I'm learning something about you.
It has to hurt. But yeah, so that was my first introduction. And then from there, April Rose, at some point after that, released her very first stage 1 dance cohesion format. So she teaches the multi-tonal system as corresponding to the movements that she teaches in the format.
Oh, okay.
And I'm fairly positive that her training in that is from Lauren Cecchio.
Yes, they worked together for a long time.
I know they worked together a long time. So I wouldn't be able to like bet my life on it that Lauren is like the one who came up with all of it. I don't know for certain, but to me, she is the person who kind of initiated and codified that system. So that's kind of that philosophy comes from the Cecchioian family of...
Yes, no, absolutely. And she was one of the first people. She was not the first person that I did like multi-tonal zills with. I had done some work with Karim Nagy years before, and we had put together like a cute zill duet, and we were using multi-tones and whatnot. But Lauren was the first person who kind of stopped me and said, no, hold on. The way you play the rhythms has to correlate to the way we would do it on the doumbek. Like it's not, I would always play my dooms were clacks, because as a dancer I'm like, well, the doom is like a heavy movement, I'm going to clack on it. She's like, no, the doom is an open-headed ring, that needs to be your basic. And I was like, boom, and so she was the first person who was like, as a drummer and a ziller and a badass didgeridoo player, oh my god, and she does them all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And like she was the first person who's like, no, like there's a relation between them, and you're going to play it the way a percussion, though you are a percussionist, right? So you're going to play it the way the tabla plays it. And that was news to me and challenging, and I thought, oh, this makes my brain hurt. Yes, I will do it.
The brain is put through a lot. It's like wringing it out like a rag. and the way you described it, I think, is exactly how I think about it. It's like a one-to-one translation of the drum.
Yeah.
Where like it's highly prescriptive. The sounds on the drum correspond to a specific sound on the cymbals. So like the doom is the open ring, the tech is the muted clack, and then the caw is your tick. And those are the basic sounds. And I know Karim, I've taken a lot of classes with him too, and he teaches all these different sounds, but of course he doesn't use like a system the way we use a system.
Yeah.
So it's like this style of playing exists all over. Like it's not like we're the first people to invent doing that with our fingers, right?
Right.
It's just the way it is codified to fit drum notation, translate to zill notation, is, I think, pretty specific to Lauren. But yeah, Karim does he has all kinds of other sounds too. I feel like he's always coming up with new ones.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think that's kind of the fun of it, right? Is to say, okay, well, yeah, you've got these 4 sounds that I consider to be like the basic, the foundation, fundamental sounds, but like, why not just make up as many as you can?
I've got mine that I personally, I call it the cymbal sandwich.
What is that one?
It's where you like jingle one cymbal in between.
I call that zill applause. I'm like, hey.
And when I use both of them, it has a much different sound. Like when you use all four.
But you're talking about one.
Yeah, so with the thumb out,
yes.
It's the sandwich.
Oh, okay, that's the same. I like that. I'm like, it's different. With 2, it's different than 1. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so now I'm curious. So there's this, very codified, like the stuff Lauren does and what April does and a cohesion. And so it's codified to certain movements. When you create a solo for the stage now, do you stick to that codification? Do you use that as a baseline and go crazy? Like, what's the process for you to come up with like a multi-tonal, like say a cappella? Because you do stuff with music and without. Like, but say it's a cappella. There's no music. It's you and your zills. How do you create that to be your style?
I think when I've done a cappella, I've mostly taken like combinations that I just have, that I have programmed cymbals to.
Okay.
And I just string together the combinations in either whether it's choreographed or improvised. And because I've been working on like a repertory of like drink combinations of things that I can like pull out.
That's cool.
And a lot of the times I just get a sequence of sounds stuck in my head, because I'll just screw around with my cymbals or on the drum, and I come up with like a sequence of sounds, or I'll hear something like in a drum solo. I'm like, oh, that would sound really cool on the cymbals, and then I just translate it and plug it in somehow. And although the last time I did an a cappella cymbal solo, it was because the radio, this what am I trying to say? Like the boombox.
Oh, uh-huh.
The speaker. There we go.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I need to say it in the 90s term. The boombox.
The boombox, yeah. My Walkman.
Shoulder. It was, they couldn't figure out how to get the volume up higher than like a whisper. And
That is the worst.
so, and I'd seen everyone struggle dancing to their music, and I was like, you know what? I knew what song I was going to dance to, and it is highly, like this, the finger cymbals are set, like I've done this a million times. I'm just going to do that choreography without the music, and I'm just going to play the cymbals, and then I just added some random stuff on the end that I was playing with in another thing. So that's how that happened once, but
Ooh.
not intentional.
I love that though. Yeah, well, like necessity being the mother of invention. And I think that's where a lot of like my needing to get comfortable just creating something to dance to on the zills came from, is like many, many years of dancing at restaurants with crappy sound systems.
Oh yeah.
Or they're like, can you go dance on the patio? And I'm like, absolutely. Oh, there's no music out there. Right? And you can only have the audience clap for you for so long.
Yeah. And they're
And
like, I want to eat
yeah.
my hummus.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, oh, all right, here we go. And now, not that I do a lot of restaurant dancing anymore, but I will not walk into one of those situations without my zills on. Because I was like, who knows? All hell could break loose, but I will be okay.
You will always have music.
I always have music. It's like the power, and I have music. That's exactly what I want it to be. It is the
Mhm.
ultimate power. I love
yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh, very cool. So you say you have like a series of combinations that you have like codified, like you have certain zills that you always play with these combinations. How do you create it? Is it the dance begets the zills, or do you like have a riff in your head and you're like, what would I dance to it? Is it a little bit of both? Like, what's that creative process?
It is a little bit of both.
Okay.
There's actually a combo that I put together that'll be in the upcoming stage 4 version of Dance Cohesion that I made into like a cute improv combo based on the choreography and the work that I did when I did my thesis on John Compton.
Nice.
So it's like a hobby roux combo. And it was just this, partially it was a drum solo like section that I just heard. I had done a performance with the Belly Dance Evolution Experience thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a drum solo thing in there, and there's just this one little sequence of sounds, and I was like, this is just funky, and it's like an earworm, and it's stuck in my head. And so that translated, that's actually how I created the syncopation in the body for the combo itself, before I even had music for the combo.
Mm-hmm.
For the choreography itself. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, because I feel like you can come at it from either way, right? The dance can tell you what the cymbals should do, but it's fun to like get that earworm and to be like, okay, I like this groove. How can I play it? And then what am I going to do to move with it? Yeah. So I think like a lot of people, we talk about how we like to make our brains hurt, and I'm the same way. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just like a masochistic thing. Like people who really like to make their brains hurt are going to be really into the finger cymbals. But I think everyone can enjoy them. I'm a firm believer, and that's like one of my big platforms as a dancer. I would like everyone to learn to play them. Then you choose whether or not to use them, but it's a choice. It's not a fear, and you just don't play them because you're scared, right? So I think people who are listening, who are like, I can't even like, what I hear all the time is, I can play, the melody and I can dance the combo, but I put them together and like, no, it just doesn't happen. Like it's just, I come to a standstill. What do you say to students who, because that's so common, and I get it, we've all been there. What would you say, like, what is some good advice to like work through that in a way that will be not too frustrating and will allow people success with the cymbals?
I don't promise that it's not frustrating.
Okay, fair enough.
But because I also hear that all the time. That's actually what Commer tells me all the time too. When
really?
Because he's like, I want to get better at it, but once the cymbals start, the body stops.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's this moment of like the polyrhythm, because it's a body choreography and it's a hand choreography.
Yeah.
Especially with multi-tonal style, like the way you have to adjust your finger position and have so much agility. And that's how I refer to it, as I'm like, it's the hand choreography. Let's learn the hand choreography, and then we'll do it with the zills, and then we'll do it with the body, and then we'll put it all together.
Ooh, so you'll practice the hand, like the positions without the zills on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing the
Like,
what does it feel like
to do the tick and like
yeah.
Okay.
And but generally it's the unfun advice, which I'm just like, the only difference between you and me is practice. Like it's just, And it's not necessarily always like drilling in front of a mirror for 2 hours, which, you know, I'm the person that does suffer through that for the love of it. But there is a lot to be said for what I call like the mental rehearsal.
Okay.
I know there is some science behind it, but I'm not smart enough in that way to be able to like cite it in a way that makes any sense.
Sure.
But just trust me that there's some kind of proof scientifically.
There is, absolutely.
That like doing rehearsal in your head can be just as generative as doing it with your body, as long as you are focused. And so with cymbals, if you have a video of yourself, or you have a video even like of your teacher doing it at the same time, just watching it happen can help connect the dots in your mind.
Okay.
But also doing it and just coming up against that wall, that goalpost, right? That boundary, it's gonna move every time you like overcome whatever it is. But generally, I really think that sleeping on it is the best way to get over that hump, because you can only like bang your head against the wall for so many drills before it's like your brain. And again, not that kind of science that I understand in a way that I can like speak to it intelligently, but my understanding of like neural pathways is like if you've got all these connections and right now your brain is having to do this to get from here to here.
Okay.
It's having to figure out its way there because it's never done that before. But when you sleep, it gets more efficient. And so and the more you return to it, it gets a little bit easier every time. And eventually that connection is just like zoop, like a highway. And the only way to do that, like there's no way around it. You can't just like, I'll do that next month and it'll be better. You do have to come back to it and suck a little bit less each time.
Right.
But that process, it requires sleeping on it and just returning to the messy middle.
Yeah, and being okay with that. I always try to like promote a desire, like an okayness with the suck, right? Like it's gonna suck before it gets better. But that's the whole point. Like we don't walk into, I think as adults, we want to just walk in and know how to do it because we are proficient with so many things, right? It becomes more uncomfortable to not be good at something, I think.
It's uncomfortable, and I think there's not a lot of forgiveness with cymbals, because if you make the wrong sound or you fumble the rhythm, you can tell.
Yeah,
like
it's just wrong.
There's no hiding if you screw it up. Whereas if you have a veil and like it kind of gets wrapped around, you can kind of maneuver your way out of it, and maybe people won't notice. You know, you slip or you know whatever other fumbling that can happen with new props. But with cymbals, I think there's a little bit more, at least to me, there's like a little bit more embarrassment about it sounding wrong. But the only way to it is through it.
Yeah, and that learning process is why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the entire reason. So I want people to feel the joy of learning, which involves not being good at something for some time, but not to get frustrated, right? And I think that's when a lot of people will just say, oh, this is just too much. And that's why I love artists like you that are like pushing the envelope with the cymbals, because I think if cymbals are challenging to learn, which they are, and they're like kind of boring to listen to, like why are we going to do that, right? But if you're like, oh damn, that's cool, okay, maybe it's worth a little bit of the pain of the process of learning it, right?
It's worth it. And then when you finally get it, it's like a reward for your brain. It's like it just got a huge piece of cake after after like struggling getting the ingredients together for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then the time you're able to like do the whole drill, moving through all the different layers of the multi-tonal process and all the way back down. And it's like, this is what the whole thing was all about. And then it's just like achievement unlocked.
Did it! Yes. Oh, I love that. So that leads me to one more question, like your process. So say you know you're either creating something or something's laid on you, like here is your combo and here is your crazy multi-tonal zill pattern, and you walk into your practice space and you do what is your process to eventually master that?
So I actually just wrote a little bit kind of about that
cool.
on social media. I did it's called like an omnibus of all the hardest cymbal things that I've done in the past few years. Because at the time when I envisioned these components together, like these sounds together to the speed or the type of music or on top of that movement, I couldn't do it. And I have a video of me choreographing something from last year where I'm like working through it and I just like scream at the camera.
Oh no.
And it's like, this is, and that's also why I like to kind of share that stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to find something that I can't quite do, and then just keep coming back to it, and eventually it clicks, and then it's like you have a new tool. So when I get into the space and I'm working with something new, generally the music will ask me to do something with my body and the cymbals that I've never done before together.
Oh, cool.
And it's like I'm trying to make it work. But having that, it reminds me is like there's still missing data, and that's just really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this is an art form and a practice that never ends. I feel like there's no finish line. You know, I'm like, we're done when we're dead, and hopefully we're not rushing towards that anytime soon, right? So it's just constantly leveling up and challenging yourself in a way that you enjoy to be challenged. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what's next for you? Either if it's a finger cymbal thing or something else, like what's the next big plan for Drake? What's going on?
Yeah, so I've got this performance set that I've been touting around for a few months that I'm trying to get a lot of mileage out of while I have something that I'm working on. There's an older Beats Antique song called Intertwine that I've been really inspired by lately. I really like their music, but it doesn't always have like the strong Middle Eastern rhythm throughout. But that song, like, it has enough of a Saidi that kicks in occasionally. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That I've been working a lot with. And I just did an improvised performance to it a week or so ago. But that is the next compositional project.
Cool.
Is getting that together.
Okay, 3 rapid fire, super quick answers if you've got them. How many sets of finger cymbals do you own?
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay, do you have a favorite pair?
My Datura Soroyan cymbals.
Excellent.
The correct weight. They've got the good, they're thick and they have the good clack and they're the right size.
Yeah, nice. And then are you more into brass or silver?
Oh, only brass.
I love brass too. I've got both, but yeah.
I have one pair of silver and they're just, the sound is too clean. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but like the brass has like a clang.
Okay.
As opposed to a ting.
Ooh, I've never thought of it that way, but I could see that for sure, sure.
Like a good strong clang.
You're more of a clangy ziller.
Yeah. And I just like gold, like the color. I think it.
Yeah, I do like that too. Yeah, I get it for sure. And so let everybody know where they can find you if they want to come study with you, support you, hang out with you.
Yeah, so I am I'm online mostly, and I've got a lot of Zill and history content on my Patreon, which I believe is Patreon.com/Drake Von Trapp. And social media has a lot of little samples of what I do, and I'm, of course, always teaching at festivals and stuff. Not currently teaching weekly classes anywhere, but potentially, hopefully, soon.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting. It's so good to have conversations with another Zill aficionado who loves to just really dive in deep and get geeky with it.
Be nerdy.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
great.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you watching. All right. Bye for now.
Well, there you have it, folks. I don't know about you, but I always love to sit down with someone who I think is totally badass on the finger cymbals and understand that they too struggle with the process, right? Because the struggle is real, but as you can see, totally, totally worth it. If you would love to learn more about Drake, follow him online or study with him, you can check out the links that I've posted here below. Follow him on social media, check out his Patreon, and learn more about what he is up to next. Thank you so much for joining me for this interview, and I will see you on the dance floor soon.